31 days. So, y'all's assessment is still next Thursday, but that's the 31st of August, not the 1st of September. So, your assessment is the 31st of August, which is next Thursday. This is when I'm going to teach you something stupid. When I was in elementary school, I learned the poem. 30 days have September, April, June, and November. All the rest have 31 except for February. That's the time when February's days are 29. And my husband's like, he learned the knuckles. And then I have some people say, I just looked it up on my phone. So if you never learned the knuckles, January is a high knuckle, so it has 31 days. February is in the valley, which means it's a shorter month. March is an up, so it has 31. April, May, June, July. So if it's on the top, it has 31 days, and if it's in the valley, it has less than 31 days, which means 30 or 29 because of February. So like January, February, March, August, September, October, November, I didn't count right now. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So August has 31 days. July and August are actually the only 2 months back to back that have 31 days. Look at Devin.
My numbers are weird, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got how yours is. See you right here?
You got 4 knuckles though, bud.
No, but these things crushing.
You do have crushing knuckles. They're like nature mountains and valleys.
Exactly.
Woo!
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's still 31 in valleys, but yeah, mine are like little.
Yeah, my thing's like crazy.
Yeah. So, if you never learned anything today, it's 31 and less than 31, but it always January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I should have done that last time to let y'all know it's the 31st. Another stupid thing you may have never learned is the 9 times tables. Did y'all learn that on your hands?
Yeah.
9 times 2. You hold down your second finger, it's 1, 8, 18. 9 times 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 36. This works from 9 times 0 to 9 times 10. So like 9 times 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, what would 9 times 7 be? 63. It works from 9 times 0. You're just hating on me, aren't you? All right. So when you come to Hub on Thursday, I want you to be about 25%. As a class right now, we're at 37%, which is amazing. Okay. Is there anything off the top of your mind that you know you want me to work on, Alan?
I'm trying to area of the triangle.
Okay, area of triangle.
And you got A equals 1/2 times base times the height.
Gotcha.
How do you figure out the height if it's not?
Give it to you?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know it. Anything else?
I can't read that name of it, but if you do the circle and fractions, each part sort of doesn't have to do a fraction, you're fine.
Okay, so is it like this and say find the shaded region? Or is it like this and says write how much is in a mixed number and how much is an
It's sort of
improper?
like the top one. I do it.
Like the top one?
Somewhat like that.
Okay, I'll go over that.
I need that bottom one.
Gotcha. I'm good like that, aren't I?
Yeah, you fine. That's
I know. What else? What else we need?
Estimating a product or a quotient of code numbers.
Okay. All right, what else we need to see? And I've got some stuff that I know you need to see. Because I know what you know before you even know you need to know it.
I told you that your mother thing, you got me playing.
I know. That's how I play. Don't hate to play on these games. All right. So, couple of things. Let me get up the formula sheet because y'all have a formula sheet that I'm going to pull one up as well. At the beginning of the course, y'all don't use a formula sheet that much, but you will start using a formula sheet the deeper in the course you get. Most of you that are in Module 1 are around around 25–30%, you don't use a formula sheet, but like I said, the further you get in. And y'all, when you take that assessment on Thursday with me, or some of you when you take knowledge checks, those are on the whole course. So anything is fair game. So even though you feel like I'm all over the place, or, oh, I haven't gotten to that yet, you're gonna get to it. You're gonna see it. So pay attention, because there's some things that I talked about in here all last week, and I re-explained them to you in Hub today, and I'm thinking, you didn't pay no attention to me last week. You were not listening to me last week, because I've already talked about this. So make sure you pay attention in here, because you are going to see it, even though you haven't seen it in the past. Now, the first thing Alan talked about is he was asking about area. So on the back page of this formula sheet, it talks about perimeter, area, and volume. Perimeter is the distance around the shape. Area is the distance inside a shape, and volume is how much a shape holds, okay? So I have them in order. Perimeter, and let me just copy this into your notes so that I can talk about it just a little bit. Let me see if I can squish this down so that I can get it on one page. Okay, so we have perimeter, we have area, and we have volume. Move it down here so that I can talk about it for just a minute. And like, oh, really? I didn't want that on top of there. Let's try it one more time. Perimeter, area. Now I can go. I moved too fast and it got in my picture. Okay, so perimeter, area, and volume. Perimeter is around a shape, like a picture frame. Area is inside a shape, and volume is if you have a three-dimensional shape, how much it will hold. Now, perimeter, the units are going to be to the first power, so like inches, feet, meters, yards. That's going to be perimeter. Area is going to be inches squared, feet squared, yards squared, miles squared. Because Alex will count it wrong if you put the wrong units. So if you have the right number, wrong units, you need a purple sheet.
Oh, can I ask you a question?
You can ask me anything.
Are we gonna do statistics in
We do everything. You ready?
I mean, I did that in high school.
Yes. Volume is to the third. Inches to the third, yards to the third, feet to the third, miles to the third, whatever. Meters to the third. So I do have it in order for you. First power, second power, third power, to try to help you out. Okay? Now, you were specifically asking about a triangle. All these formulas you don't have to memorize. Now, the formula for a triangle, the area of the triangle, is 1/2 base times height. So triangles, and I'm just going to go to another page for a second, to where you were asking me. A triangle can be drawn like that, a triangle can be drawn like that, a triangle can be drawn like that. And if we want to know the area, the formula is 1/2 base times height. Now, the base of a triangle is what it sits on. So that is going to be my base. The height of a triangle, when you go to a doctor, your doctor measures your height straight up and down. If they measured your height like this, you would be 7 feet tall. So our height is never going to be on a diagonal, it's always going to be straight up and down. So in the first problem, my height would be actually part of my triangle. In my second problem, they would do a dotted line to let me know that that's not part of my shape, but I need to tell you this is my height. And for the third shape, they would do it like this and let you know that this would be your height. Okay? Now, sometimes they do something cattywampus on you. They'll do something or like this, and they'll do it like that or like this, and they'll say, find the area of this triangle. And so they'll give you the numbers like 5, 6, and 7, and 8, 9, and 10, just to make up some numbers. And so you're saying, okay, easy breezy, I need to know the base and I need to know the height. Well, for this first shape, do you agree it really doesn't have a base? And for the second shape, oh, my base is 8, but it doesn't have a height. So what I've got to do is I've got to do some flipperooski stuff. So for the first one, I'm going to take my little camera, and I'm going to camera both of them. Because you just have to know that the base and the height are what it sits on and straight up and down. So for the first one, if I take this and I do that, can you now see that 6 is my base and that 7 is my height? Because your base and your height have to be at right angles. All right, for the second one, if I take that one, well, I can't draw. Just pretend I can draw. Your base and your height, and the reason I said that is because I told you this was a right angle, which means they meet like that. So my base for this one would be, oh, that's a 9, because I flipped it. See how that's a 9? My base for that one's a 9, and my height for that one's a 10. Does that make better sense, Alan? So I know you don't have the camera thing, but what you could do is like you could tear off a piece of your paper and write like 6, 7, and 5, or hold your head cattywampus or whatever to make you visually. Some people are better at seeing it than others. Cool? All right. This problem I actually have worked out on another sheet of paper, so I know I'm going to go over that one. This problem, I love that problem, so let's talk about that one next. It'll say write as a mixed number, and then it'll say write as an improper. And it shows you like pizzas, and it'll show you how many are shaded. So for the mixed number, remember that a mixed number is a whole number with a little something something on the side, and an improper is just a fraction. So I say you had a party, and this is how many pizzas you ordered. So mixed numbers represents how many whole pizza boxes are gone. 2. Go with me? So 2 represents the pizza boxes that are gone. This represents the fraction of a box that remains. 1/3. 1 piece out of 3 was eaten. So I ate 2 whole boxes, and then I ate 1 piece out of 3. Now, to get this answer, you take your 2 1/3, you multiply and add. Bottom times whole plus top. And you keep the bottom. 7/2. Because really what you're doing is you're saying, I don't care how many boxes, I just want to know how many slices were consumed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 whole slices were consumed, and there were 3 slices in every box. So you were saying 3 slices times 2 boxes plus the extra slice.
Wouldn't that bottom number still be true?
Yeah. Yeah, it was there. It was there, right there. It's 7/3, my bad. Thank you. And y'all, if you see me screw something up, please say so. Because there's people going, I thought I understood it until she wrote it. So yeah, tell me if you see something. My bad. Does that make sense for those? Okay. All over it. Cool?
I
Yes.
actually have the problem putting my phone here on check see if that's what it is.
Okay, give it to me.
How far away
I'm too fat.
That's
from it? I can't help it.
That's fine. That's fine. Sometimes the internet is cracking. Oh, okay. Yeah, just let me know when you put it back up, and I'll go back to it. Okay, now, we'll go back to that one. Now, here's some problems that I wanted to go over last time, and we ran out of time. Some of you may have gotten to this, and some of you may not have, but you're going to get into it if you don't. The problem will look like this, and it'll say simplify. Simplify, evaluate, that just means work it out. Get an answer. It looks like this. Now, here's what happens, y'all. You type it in the calculator like this, 3 parentheses, 9 minus 6, da da da. That is wrong. Tell me why this is wrong.
Don't you have to, all of that fractions?
Correct. The calculator is only as good as the person who uses it. This is what the calculator thinks you're doing.
Distribute.
It only thinks you're dividing what's right in front of it by what's right behind it. So I tell people don't do this one like that in the calculator. What you need to do is work out the top, get an answer, then work out the bottom, get an answer, and then divide the two answers. So treat it as two separate problems. So for this one, I would do 3 parentheses, 9 minus 6, get an answer. 2 times 4 plus 1, get an answer. Oh, I gotcha. That was on my list of things to do. So 9 is the answer to the top, 9 is the answer to the bottom, and now I'm going to do 9 divided by 9. So my final answer to this problem is going to be 1. Now, technically, you can do it all in one. You just got to be very careful about your parentheses. The easiest way to do this, type in the top, type in the bottom, divide the two answers. Good? All right. The word of usually means multiply. So if a problem says, what is 1/8 of 50? They are telling you to do 1/8 times 50, which means you would go to your calculator, you would wrap up the 1 divided by 8, and then you would multiply that by 50. Now, if it wants a mixed number, what do? Subtract the dollars, the 6, and then math, enter the change. Because remember, hold on, if I go back, second enter, if I go back to the original problem and I math, enter from the get-go, I'm going to get an improper fraction, and Alex is going to mark that wrong if they wanted a mixed number. So this would be my answer if they said they want a fraction only. This would be my answer if they said they wanted a mixed number. See the difference? Make sure you wrap it up as well. But the main thing I wanted you to realize is that when I use the word of, it usually means multiply. Not all the time, but it usually means multiply. So if I said, y'all, 2/3 of this class are girls, and of those 2/3, 1/5 wear glasses. So what percent or what fraction wear glasses? So I'm saying 2/3 of 1/5, or 1/5 of 2/3. So I would do 1/5 times 2/3. 1/5 of the 2/3. I would do 1/5 times 2/3. when we get into some really long word problems where they're just using of because it's part of the English language. All right, several of you have gotten into some of these where it says shade. Shade, how many spaces? So it says shade 2/5 of the circle. Now this is not the one Caleb wanted, but this one says shade 2/5 of the circle. Well, do you agree if I gave you 5, you would shade 2 of them? They freaking didn't give me 5 of them. They gave me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, when you read the explanation, which I'm protesting right now for all the explanations, but if you read the explanation, it's going to give you lots to read, but you have 10 pieces. So what they're trying to get you to do is get a common denominator. They did a sucky way of explaining that, but y'all, what did we multiply 5 by to get 10?
2.
So what you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So 2 times 2 is, so if you have 5 pieces, you shade 2 of them. So if you have 10 pieces, you shade 4. Because that's why you got me. So for the next one, they said shade 1/4, but they gave you 12 slices. So what did I multiply 4 by to get 12?
3.
So what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So if there's 12 pieces, I'm going to shade 3 of them. And I don't care which 3 you shade, as long as you shade 3 of them. And some of you are going, I wish I would have known that like an hour ago. And that's why when you're in the hub, y'all, don't suffer in silence. Just ask. Make that eye contact. Whatever. Just let us know. If you're suffering over the weekend, text me. Let me know. It's okay. All right. Let's see what else we have. Oh, this leads to this one. In Alex, I think Mr. Livingston, you were working on these, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
It says fill in the blank. It's kind of like those. What did I multiply 15 by to get 45? 3. So what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So 15 times 3 is 45. So 7 times 3, that's my answer. Well, then they were like, let me keep you on your toes. Let me flip the problem around. 5 times what is 30? So 7 times 6, there's the answer. That's it. It's not hard when you learn the language. It's not hard when you say, oh, is that all they meant? Yeah. Once you learn the language and once you understand what they're asking for, everything's easy. All right. This one, several of you were doing something like this today. And you were looking at the explanation and getting common denominators and finding LCMs and LCDs and I held my hand over the explanation and I said, just hit start. You don't need to get common denominators and LCMs and LCDs and you don't need to do any of that. You type it in your calculator. Alex doesn't know y'all can use a calculator. So it's teaching you old school. I ain't old school. I'm cool. We use a calculator. So for this problem, we go to our calculator and we literally type in, wrap it up, parentheses, the fraction 1 divided by 2, minus the parentheses 2 divided by 3, plus parentheses 7 divided by 8. Now, if you type this in, they're going to mark it wrong because I have some of you say, well, they didn't tell me to write it in a fraction. reduce your answer. What else do you reduce besides fractions? And here's the answer, and look what they put off to the side. What else are they telling you besides giving a fraction? Here's your sign. So don't stop here. You know, if the problem has fractions in it, what do you think they want? Fractions. So do math, enter. So 17/24 is going to be my answer. So when they say reduce, or when they give you fractions off to the side, now I had turn me into a reduced fraction. That's going to be your sign for math, enter. Now I had some people today who did problems, and this was off to the side, and their answer was a whole number. And they freaked out. It's okay because the computer generates this. They're giving that to you in case your answer is yucky. Your answer just happened to be pretty, and it's okay to have a pretty answer. But if your answer is yucky, this is here for backup. Do I need to do anything else on this one? Y'all stop me if you need to stop me. Mixed problems. So if I'm doing this one, and the question says, write your answer as a mixed number, I would go to my calculator. A lot of y'all were typing in your mixed numbers wrong. 2 plus 1/5, 1 divided by 5. So you wrap up the mixed number as whole number plus fraction, times 4 plus 5 divided by 6. Now, this is when I want to grab your finger, because you're so used to doing math, enter. Math, enter is going to turn it into a fraction only. They will mark it wrong because they want a mixed number. So because they want a mixed number, it's like being in mixed company. You've got to separate them. So we've got to subtract the dollars. So what are we going to subtract? The 10. We're going to subtract, not add, Jen. We're going to subtract the 10, and we're going to math, enter the change. So when it says mixed number, they're telling you, I'm in mixed company, you better separate these people. So the answer to this problem is going to be 10 and 19/30. Are we feeling it? Because some wasn't feeling it today. Whole number plus fraction wrapped up. Now I had some of y'all, if this was a division problem, let me write a division problem down here. Let's say it was 1 3/4 divided by 5/8. Y'all read that explanation? And you learned that division means multiply and flip. So when you typed it into the calculator, you multiplied and flipped, which is fine, but the more that you do, the more cause for errors. Because I don't trust some of y'all. I'd rather you type it into your calculator like it's written. So Deb, how am I going to type this into my calculator?
Are you gonna do 1 plus, right?
Rip it up!
I'm gonna go put the bracket. Yeah.
Parentheses.
That's it.
That's
Put
it.
that right there. You're gonna do
And-
1 plus. Then you put the 3 over the 4. I mean divided by 4. And then that that's it, the divided sign, right?
That is. Tell me what goes next.
And then you put another bracket. A parenthesis or that thing.
You better wrap it up.
Yeah, that. You're gonna wrap it up. And then you're gonna divide it. 5/8.
Oh!
Wait, the parentheses.
No hoeing around without wrapping it up.
Oh, okay, then you're gonna wrap it up again. Yeah, that's what you're asking.
Because watch, this is what you originally said. Just to show you.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Totally different answer. Wrapping up makes all the difference in the world. No child support. Okay? So if I do second enter and I do second enter again, there's my answer. Now, I'm gonna say write answer as a mixed number. So Devin, what do I do now? What do I do now? Mixed number.